Hi everyone, this is Wilson from Places and Foods. So this is the Phillip Island Chocolate Factory, or also known as Penny's Chocolate Factory. So the owner is actually a Malaysian who is migrated to Australia.
Press one of the buttons and then
Bisa that one?
yeah, press the other one. It's pretty good chocolate. Pretty quality chocolate.
Yeah, well, they just programmed it differently.
Yeah, it has to take its time. So the cocoa pods here, once they're off the trees, they're hardened for 2 to 3 days before they're split open.
Right.
And as you can see inside here, it's a white pulpy mixture. It's not the brown bean that you'd expect right away. So to get rid of that, they ferment them, they dry them, they wrap them in these banana leaves and leave them in the sun for 5 to 7 days. You can see in the picture there as well. They cover them up. And after that, after 5 to 7 days in the sun, it's dry enough that they can actually pull the beans out. So the beans are then pulled out individually and put into a basket, then placed on these drying racks for another 7 days. So these beans here are from Peru. We use the beans from Ghana in our chocolate. However, these are just the display beans. And they are real beans. I encourage people to eat them, to give them a go. And they come through, so you can crack it open and inside there, a little bit of a nib. Very bitter, but it's actually very good for you. It's good, high in antioxidants, and it's good for your blood. Bitter for your mouth. This is our chocolate map here. It does show all these little dots are where cocoa is grown around the world, the main exporters anyway. And it's basically 18 degrees from the equator on either side. So if you're going to draw a line through there, somewhere around there's the equator. All these little dots. West Africa produces 3/4 of the world's cocoa though. 75% comes from there. Another big producer is in these areas here in New Guinea and in Indonesia, South America, Central America, but it did originate in and around Mexico about 2,000 years ago. That's where it started, but it wasn't made into a chocolate bar until about 1850 by the Europeans. The Mexicans and the Incas and the Mayans just crushed it up and drank it with hot water like a tea. So it's obviously very bitter, and they actually use it as a currency as well. So that's 100 kilos of chocolate, that map.
Serious?
Yeah. Solid, it's thick. So after the beans are dried, they're roasted for a little while. Not very long, it's like roasting an almond. We got simulation and everything's interactive here. So it's like roasting an almond. Half an hour or so. So if there's a bit more moisture, they'll roast it for a bit longer, but they want about 7% moisture in the beans. So then they're roasted and they're crushed. Instead of peeling them all by hand, you drop them in here. You can crush. Obviously it's done on a lot larger scale. We've broken everything down to show everybody. And then the wind separates the shells from the nibs. It's called a winnower, and it just flows up and out, and then all you're left with is the nibs at the bottom. And it's done in one machine. We've broken them down to show you the different processes, but I know an older machine like that would grind and winnow and blow the shells out in the back. So that's an old one, obviously. And there's so much oil in the beans that as you grind them, it becomes an oily sort of mixture and becomes a paste. And of course, you don't do it by hand anymore. That would take forever. A machine will do it nowadays.
Right.
This has been grinding for probably close to 2 years, and you can see it starting to become oil in there, just from people trying it out throughout the tour.
So these are real chocolates?
No, well, yes, this is the chocolate paste.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, these are real ones?
This isn't the real. This isn't the real stuff.
This is the real one?
Yeah. That's the powder. And then this is, I believe, just the paste that Penny, the chocolate paste that we used. So we didn't actually grind it ourselves to make it, but it's for display. So this here, the paste is put into a press, and they press out most of the oil in it. And that oil is used in the cocoa butter, which is then brought back into the chocolate again. These 4 ingredients that you see here would make you white chocolate. So lots of people wonder how they get white chocolate white and it's not brown. It's because there's no cocoa mass or cocoa powder in it. It's just got the cocoa butter. And the soy lecithin there is the binding agent and holds it all together. And then there's sugar in the milk powder as well. Now the difference between the milk chocolate and dark chocolate is you would add to those 4 ingredients. For milk chocolate, you would add some of the paste, some of the dough that's been pressed. You pour that back into it, mix it all up, and that would be milk chocolate. And dark chocolate doesn't have any milk powder in it. So you take out the milk powder and you add cocoa powder as well, and that's how you get dark chocolate. So dark chocolate's not nearly as creamy. It's kind of harder and drier because it's got the milk powder in it. And they're mixing a thing called the gancher. Now this really, it heats from the bottom and then grinds around. There's a big picture up there of ones, the real ones with stones. And good quality chocolate will be in there for 2 to 3 days, depending on how they really want to grind it fine to break it down and have your taste buds really taste the fine molecules. So in this stage here, it won't harden properly, and you won't be able to cool it into like a mold. So they have to temper it, which is very important stage. It's the last stage. You bring it up to a certain temperature, particularly 34 degrees, and it actually changes a type of crystal in chocolate, kind of a chemistry change, and allows the chocolate to harden and gives it that shine and that snappy feeling when you're breaking it into a bar. So after you ganch it, you temper it, and it changes it, and then you can pour it into your molds or your beans or pods or whatever. Right to it.
This is 500 kilos?
That's right, 500 kilos, yeah. There's a little game you can play in here. We have 13 different objects hidden in the village that you try to find. There's fish in the sea and all sorts of things, so keeps people occupied. People will spend up to an hour in this tour, an hour and a half sometimes, if they really want to play all the games and do all the things. And this train here runs outside and around the front section as well. Just comes back in through here.
Is the train made of chocolate?
No, the trains, that's the sad thing. Everything else is chocolate except for the trains and the tracks.
And the cars as well?
The cars aren't chocolate, no. There's only a few cars, and there's a few little people in there as well that aren't chocolate, but...
Are those edible?
Yeah, it's real chocolate. It is the world's largest chocolate waterfall, for the amount of weight that it drops. We haven't found anything bigger, so we claimed it. That's 400 kilos every 3 minutes. 400 kilos every 3 minutes, yeah.
Ready?
Is it ready? Is the machine ready? Okay, we've been here at the chocolate factory. He's going to try to make his own chocolate, right? Okay.
I usually make my own chocolate in the toilet. Alright, so
Okay, ready?
yeah, I thought so.
Okay, this is W. More W. And that's it. And that's it. You got 5 seconds. Done.
My god, my name looks like 2 TVs.
We went there yesterday, and I mean, it was like
This stuff cools in 3 to 4 minutes, whereas the other stuff would take about 15 minutes to cool. Alright. So we do buy good quality compound chocolate for it, but it's not what we sell in the store. It's just this is just more for a game. But you can't eat it, it's not that bad, but so you have to try some of this chocolate here. It comes off that block. This does carvings and designs whenever we program it to. Today, I think I'm actually doing a Go West one.
Alright.
Because they're a tour company that comes through almost on a daily basis.
go, let's do it.
Yeah. So these are just the for slow and made. Just melt it back in. We're not going to take a try on chocolate. Just grab It's got all sorts of different chocolate in it. It's got milk, white, and chocolate mixed together. It's mostly white, but it's got milk chocolate mixed in as well.
Alright.
There's all different sizes of them, so.
This is hollow, right?
Yeah.
And it's hardened by licorice.
What's that?
Inside it comes with licorice or no?
No, this one's just hollow.
Pure chocolate, right?
This one's just, it's just a mixture of the
White and
white and milk. And then there's
how
one.
heavy is this?
That's a good question. Not sure. Probably 100 grams maybe?
Alright.
Something like that. We have different sizes for different, they're all a standard weight. But because they just weighed them yesterday, we haven't weighed any of them up. I'm not sure what they are. I'm sure somebody else would know, but.
Alright, no worries.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna make my own chocolate now. Whoa. Okay.
Select the chocolate.
Now for me. Can I ingredient?
Oh! You can
Oh.
all of them.
No. Wasabi and strawberry.
Wasabi and strawberry. My god. You had to press the middle.
Which one? This one?
Yep.
Lock in chocolate, lock in the ingredients, and start. Woo. Chocolate getting ready here, the dark one. Okay, down. Cool. My strawberry going in. Oh, they see here. And wasabi next. Now it's here. Oh, is that? It's my little bar of chocolate.
All the bells and whistles.
Dark chocolate, strawberry, and wasabi.
So do remember to get some of their chocolates before you leave. You can get them as souvenirs, and they do serve authentic Indian food as well in the Phillip Island Chocolate Factory. I hope you like this video. Subscribe to our channel, and thanks for watching, guys. See ya.